Okay, so this is what we have here. We've got my girlfriend's car, pretty clean 200 SX, mostly stock except for the 17-inch rims. But a couple of days ago I had a flat tire from low air pressure. I couldn't tell that it was low until I was on the road. So I got to replace that on this car, among other things. Hello. Then this is my baby. It's leaking oil everywhere. And currently has a 14-inch wheel that's blown. Came off of that little red truck. So that wheel came off of this little truck. This little truck needs some love, but it's kind of low on the totem pole. And this is what happened to my rim while I was driving. I don't know what I hit, but it bent it up pretty good. But I'm in the process of fixing it, swapping it out, since a lot of guys are switching to the more drag style setup on the MR2s lately. So these are 19, well, the size I was on the back was a 19 by 10.5 with a 23 plus 23 offset, and the front is a 19 by 9.5 with a plus 23 offset. But if you look close, I'm actually running a 20 millimeter spacer, so it's basically a +3, and the same for the rear. Got this car like this. It came with the wide body kit. I bought it about 3 years ago. It's kind of steadily been a work in progress. When I got it, the engine wasn't really running, but it sat in the garage for 4 years. And now that I have it, and I actually got it running, the first thing I had to do was replace the turbo that was blown. And then, you know, about a year later, I figured out that it actually is down a cylinder, so it's really a blown engine. Now, if we really get underneath here, you can see the amount of oil. I don't know exactly where all of it's coming from, but I am planning to replace the motor with a K24a2, and I know there's a little bit of a movement of people swapping them out, swapping out the 3S GTE. Mine's an original 91 turbo. This one is going to be swapped out just because of the headache I had just replacing the turbo. And also the issue of trying to get to the oil filter. So it's been a long time coming. This is actually a couple years late. I already have the VOLK Racing kit for my K24a2 that I plan to swap in there. And that uses the original E153 factory turbo transmission. And I'm going to run it. I have a leftover wastegate from an Evo 9 turbo kit that I had when I had that car, and I eventually traded it. So I think the wastegate on that one, the spring is set at 14 pounds, and I brought a private label, well, PLM sidewinder for the K24, and I will be swapping that out once I get more parts. I still need to get a water neck for the K24. Probably going to go with a K-tuned. They have a new one that puts the filler neck right beside the engine, and I'm going to replace the fuel pump, and I believe I'm going to replace the injectors. I was going to go with ID 1000s, but for what I'm using it for, I may not need it. I might try to go with 550s. But the IDs are a drop-in for the, I guess, for the wiring harness for the K-series motors. So let's get a quick look. I didn't bring my key outside, but nothing special on interior. Stock wiring down shifter, full black interior. The AC doesn't work, but once I get the swap done, I'm going to see if I can get the AC working. This will primarily be a daily driver. I was thinking about joining the VTech Club at Willow Springs Raceway, since I'm about 10 minutes away from it once it's all done, but I have to get another vehicle just in case, you know, something happens at the racetrack with this one. I do have this huge family SUV that I could use to drive to work, but my better half uses that one currently, so I may end up just taking this little Toyota truck, little 4-cylinder, nothing special, good gas mileage. I can haul a few things here and there, not too much. When I got the K-series and put it in there, the back of this thing was squatting pretty bad. So yep, we'll see what happens. This is the first video for me and my adventure in the K-series, and hopefully within the next couple of months I'll bring the car, take the car off the road completely. It still runs, even though it runs bad and it's leaking oil everywhere. Once I do finally get the, I got my wiring harness already from Wire Gap. Well, I paid for it, sorry. I'm just waiting for it to come in the mail. So that's another big thing that's out of the way. And we'll see what happens for the next video.